It's 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. You're listening to 91.5 KRCC Tuesday evening music mix, and a special night it is. I am being joined this evening with Daniel James Eaton, Alex Koshak, known as Briffaut, and they have just released an incredible, beautiful record called Helsinki, and we're going to be talking about that and playing some stuff live. But Daniel, Alex, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
Hello.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. We're going to do some songs and the things I'm curious about. First of all, this record is amazing. I told you, True, earlier that I played it through twice today.
Yeah.
Just working in my office and just can't stop playing it. It is so beautifully produced and so beautifully realized. Daniel, I guess I want to go to you first on this. I know that you're infamous around town for doing your year of songs, like in 2012, I think that was.
2012, yeah.
A new song every day. So I was curious about, I want to talk about that a little bit because I wanted to know about that process and how you approached that. Was that just being, listening to your dreams, surrendering, being super focused, just letting whatever was be?
To attain the whole writing a song every day for a year, it was mostly all about letting yourself completely go into creativity, even if it made you feel like a little weird. Like I'd approach every day as this is a day to write a song, and that's my entire purpose on this planet, is to think about this planet and write a song about it.
And so was it the kind of thing where you would meet that some days with dread? Or was it?
Sure. Sometimes vigor and sometimes dread, yeah.
I remember
But
Truman Capote saying something about when he wrote, many times it was just staring at that blank piece of paper and just starting to type letters and something would happen.
Oh, yeah. With guitar, you just start playing a chord, and I can't tell you how many times I would just sit down and I'd just be like, and just come up with something, and 2 hours later, you've got some thing that you're invested in, that you've created, that you're like proud of.
Well, that was, I remember keeping an ear to that. I kept hearing about this guy that was writing a song a day, and that was just so amazing. So the reason I even prefaced this is now you've done this sophomore LP, Helsinki, which sounds very, very focused and thought out, but not thought out, but thought out too, where you've brought so much to this lyrically. And so was it hard to change gears and then get super focused about a project versus a song a day?
Oh, not. I welcome the gear change because I was kind of tired of writing a song every day. It's insane. I don't recommend it. It's a lot. But I was super excited to be able to focus on a handful of songs that we've had for a long time. A few, I'd say half the album is songs that have been around for 2 or 3 years.
Oh.
And they've been through metamorphoses of their own. And I don't know, I'm really proud of them.
Well, you should be, because this is a beautiful record. And Alex, I'm not going to leave you out here either. Maybe you guys could do a song right now, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the this and the that, and because I want to know about production and recording, and because that plays a big part in this record too.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
All right. Good. So in the studio with me right now, Briffaut, and playing some songs from the new one, Helsinki, right here on 91.5 KRCC.
Right, so this is a song called Domino off the new album by us, Briffaut. And hope you like it.
I'm a domino.
Oh, yeah, very nice. Domino by Briffaut in the studio with me right now, taken from their sophomore LP, Helsinki. Beautiful song. Daniel, your voice, wow. That is a thing of delight. There is such beautiful production and so many nuanced parts to this record. I wanted to talk a little bit with either you or Alex, whoever wants to say anything, with working with Adam Hawkins at Right Heel Music and how long did it take? How did you start? Was there a blueprint, and did you invent it as you went along?
He just approached us and wanted to record so bad, and we were like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's make a record. So we set up a couple of days, and I actually tracked everything that I did on the record, all the drums and everything, in those 2 days, and that was like 2 years ago. So we did all of the tracks that I played on with the drums 2 years ago, and we did all the guitar and all the bass. And then I think we did some keys, or maybe that was a little later. And then Daniel actually took all those tracks home, and he did all the vocals over the top of that. But then he actually ended up doing way more. I mean, he's had 2 years of working on it, and you can really hear how rich it sounds now. He's added so much to it. I remember hearing it when it was just my drums and the bass and the guitar, and it's just I hardly even recognize it now. It's really full, and he's done a great job with adding little things to kind of bring it all together and make it one big, happy music piece.
Wow, I'm blown away. Just because that's such that's kind of mind blowing for this reason too, Alex. You're such a good drummer. Really, and the drumming on this is really beautiful and nuanced and jazzy and focused and crazy psychedelic, and to capture that in a couple of days, wow.
Well, and I mean, we'd been working on these songs for a long time before that. I'd had a lot of time and a lot of thought went into exactly how the drums fit into the songs and what they kind of did to them and what feeling they brought. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's weird to think that 2 years ago I recorded all these songs and I hear them now and I hardly even recognize them because they just have this new feeling that I didn't even know about 2 years ago when we recorded it. I didn't know what the final product was going to be. I just kind of knew the blueprint. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really happy and kind of amazed at how it all ended up turning out.
Daniel, did you have this fully realized song in your head for some of these or a few of them where you knew how you wanted to build this and where you wanted it to go?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I had a pretty clear vision of wanting it to be this. I want to use the word glamorous, kind of like a glamorous feeling in the album, like a futuristic feeling, something really shimmery. But I didn't know what I was going to use until it just was naturally happening, which for me that involved a lot of getting really obsessed with early progressive rock. Can I say names of people or no?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Early Genesis, when Peter Gabriel was still the front man, is a huge inspiration to what I'm trying to do now. And they used to use a Mellotron, which is this keyboard with little tape reels in it. And every note is connected to a piece of tape that turns, that plays the sound. And it's just this really beautiful, haunting kind of thing. And so we ended up getting that kind of sound in there, and that really tied together the kind of glittery sensation I was getting at. And at the same time, I should say that the album is an ode to my grandma who passed away recently. Well, I suppose it's been about 2.5 years.
Right, I read about that. I was going to ask you about that.
And she, in my head, it's almost like this album is my funeral for her, because I don't know, I think and feel through songs kind of, so it's this is how I'm processing all of that. And so the album is a pretty dark album, and conceptually it's about a lot of things like climate change. They call it climate change now instead of global warming.
Yeah, it's nice.
I wonder what the next term will be. But just all these things, and it's like a funeral for that. But at the same time, it's wrapped up in a package where you never need to know that, and you can enjoy the songs and take a lot of excitement and happiness out of them.
I think that's why I went through twice, too, because the first time I was just really swept away by the music and the soundscape of it all, and just kind of floated away on all that. But the second time through, I really wanted to start paying attention to what you were singing about and what you were getting across. And so it repeats many listens. I can testify to that. Well, if you would like, I'd love to hear another song from Helsinki.
We'd love to, yeah.
Briffaut in the studio, 91.5 KRCC.
We're going to turn the gears a little bit for a second and do a new song that precedes the new album. It's called Magic.
Speechless. That's a good trait for a DJ. 91.5 KRCC in the studio with Briffaut and playing some music for us. That was a song that preceded Helsinki. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that'll be probably on whatever we do next.
Oh, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Really and truly. I'm a true fan because, something that we've talked a lot about on Air Check, which is our online and on-air music magazine we do once a month, is just how lucky we are in southern Colorado and, really the region, the state, but southern Colorado, to have the kind of musicians that we have. And certainly Daniel, you and Alex, and more people than I can name represent that. And you guys are staying put and making music together. Like, some people are going off and doing other things, and that's fine because, you launch at a certain point, I guess. But I've really enjoyed watching so many different groups of musicians collaborate and come together. It's made such an incredible scene. Really proud of it.
It's remarkable.
Yeah. Me and Daniel, we've been playing in this band for 7 years, I think, or something like that, almost.
I remember when you first came in, actually.
Right, yeah. And you've seen us with how many other people in here, you know? Just a rotating cast of friends that wanted to lend their voices at whatever time. Mm-hmm. That's I think that's a good way to do it, is just, I was just telling Daniel how proud I am for, he's been doing this, and he's just, puts his head into it and his heart into it, and he has to do it. He's just committed to making music, and it gets hard sometimes to just be motivated to do it. And there's points where he's kind of been on his own, but he's just kind of pushed through, and
you got to keep going.
I'm just really I was just telling him it's good, man. It's great to do it. And then now, there was a point when we were having a conversation, I remember, where we were maybe we should just not even put this record out and be done or whatever.
Yeah, we almost threw this record
the
away.
whole record. Yeah, and it's a lot of work, and we
really
loved it.
It was really hard to make this record happen.
Yeah. But there was a point when we were kind of it was down to the two of us, and we were just what do we do now? We've always had more, at least a fefew more people around to kind of fill out the sound. Mm-hmm. But instead, we just got as creative as we could, and
then we got signed to a record label, immediately.
Right, yeah, that's how it works.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about that, too. Very nice segue, as we call in the business. No, and how many stories are like that where people are oh, we're just about walked away from that record, and it turns out to be the record that was a tipping point or a pivot point in that band's career. I'm so glad you persevered because this record sounds like that to me. There is definitely something just beautifully realized on it. And I listen to a lot of records every year. So it's you just get that feeling. But you're talking about the label. Is that Group Hug?
Group Hug. Yeah.
How did that come to be?
Well, we met them. We started playing in Denver a lot more. Mm-hmm. Because we were trying to just have fun with it and try new things, and we started realizing that Denver has its own scene that's, I don't know if I'd say it's more matured, but it's just, they've been doing it for a long time, and it's set up in a certain way, and it's kind of nice to jump into a different scene and see what that's like.
And then you add a higher volume of people, and you've got a higher volume of people that are interested in, music that isn't exactly easy to pin down or something.
And we're brand new to that audience, so we're coming out of nowhere for them. So I think these guys saw us at the Syntax Physic Opera.
No.
Didn't they?
No, this is what happened.
Oh, you want to go back to all the way?
We'll just go back. We'll go back.
Version.
It is the abridged version. We met Davey from Group Hug because I played a show at his house with Desi, and for her album release. Mm-hmm. She did her EP release there. Did you guys get that record?
Yes.
Yeah. Also done.
Plains.
Yeah, Desi Garcia.
And the Haunted
and we played a show there, and he was talking to me about the last record that we had made. Briffaut, I think Desi and Inea had actually turned him on to it, and they were telling me how much they liked it. And so they were let's do a show together. And so I was yeah, sure. And then the whole band was we didn't even know what we were doing at that point. And me and Daniel kind of just buckled down and got ready for this show. We had a few months And we played that show, and they had never even seen us before, I don't think, but they loved it. And the next thing you know, he's hitting me up, and he was like, hey, would you guys ever want to, like, put some tapes out on the tape label that we do? And we were like, yeah, actually, we have, like, this record. It'd be really cool.
And so that explains the cassette, the release digital and cassette.
Yep.
Right.
And there's going to be CDs, too.
From a Kickstarter that we successfully, a second Kickstarter.
And that's how that works. I mean, so the support of all these friends and musicians and people who believe in what you do. And a cassette. I'm excited. I still have
It'll
boxes.
be fun.
They're supposed to be here tomorrow. We get to check them out.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to go up to Denver tomorrow and look at them.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, too, because you've got some stuff coming up, and I want to make sure that we address that before you guys move on this evening. What's coming up then as far as shows and where people can catch you?
So we have 2 shows this weekend. The first is on Thursday night, and it is a house show with Cocordian, which is another Colorado Springs band,
right?
Fronted by our good friend Mitch, and
who played keyboard on the album.
That's right. And then there's a guy playing from Minneapolis named Pat Keen, and us, and I think that's it. And it's at this place called The Bump. And I don't know if I should give the address out on the radio, but if you know me and you want to come to the show, just hit me up about it, and I'll send you the details.
There you go. That's a good way to do that.
And then Friday night, we have our big release show with 2 other bands that are also on Group Hug. And that is at the Syntax Physic Opera in Denver. And it's with In Plains and Downtime. Really great bands. We're really excited. It's probably our favorite Denver venue. And it's a Friday night. We've got great bands. I hope
we're going to wear costumes.
Yeah, I know it's kind of like a far drive, but that's like our official show. So if you want to come up from Springs and check it out, promise it'll be worth it. Guaranteed.
It's going to be good.
Well, I suspect between your fans here and people that are listening now and you know, our signal wafting up toward the north, you'll have some folks showing up. I want to thank you, Daniel and Alex, for taking time. You put a lot of work into setting up so you could play for us this evening. And this record is certainly finding a home here at 91.5 KRCC.
Well, thank you, Vicki. Thanks for having us in here and letting us take over your studio with a bunch of crazy like pedals and keyboards and stuff, and saying nice things about the record and for listening to it, and just thank you.
Oh, a real pleasure. And I hopefully Jake Brunell, one of our producers here, and you know him from Aircheck, capture some visuals here and get that posted for you on our website, 91.5 KRCC. Can we have a song to go out on? Yeah,
we're going to finish it out with an old Briffaut golden oldie classic tune.
All right. Briffaut right here on 91.5 KRCC.
And if you want to check out our new album, go to briffaut.bandcamp.com, and it's there. You can have it. That's Briffaut.
Or come to the release show on March 2nd.
Come to the release show, please. March 2nd, Syntax Physic Opera, Denver, Colorado. So this song's called Soft White. It's off our first album, Mod. The song we played for you before that was called Magic, and it's off of a future record that doesn't have a name yet. And the first song we played for you was called Domino, and that is on the new album, Helsinki. Here we go, Soft White.
said the soft white clouds above the trees. Everyone out there has wanderlust. Ba 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 ba. I start to rest a little less here without you. I start to rest a little less. I start to rest a little less here without you. I start to rest a little. You are ghostly white and you have gone. You left the bed you lay upon. You don't know what's out there in the least, said the soft white clouds above the trees.
Briffaut on 91.5 KRCC. Thank you so much for this amazing evening of music. Really, really appreciate. And you're going to be hearing yourselves on 91.5 KRCC, guaranteed. So. Helsinki, a beautiful project. And we'll catch up with you later down the road.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Jake. Thanks for having us.
A pleasure. Thank you, Jake.